receivers. Obviously, you got a trio with Tyler Johnson. As far as that group as a whole goes, where do they stack up as far as challenges you face this year?
Yeah, really good group in the Big Ten. I think, Illinois presented some different issues. Obviously, Ohio State's got a really good receiving corps, but these guys are really good too. I recruited Sherrod Bateman a little bit, so I'm familiar with him. But they have a good crew. They have a guy in Bateman that can, a lot of yards after catch and a lot of yards per catch, and Johnson can go over the middle. And they have a nice complementary offense, and they do a nice job of getting those guys in position to make catches.
I think the quarterback, he came in at halftime against you guys last year, and it's sort of been him since. How much did you think about him in the game prep last year, and what have you seen from him as a player since then?
We've seen a lot of last year, I don't know if there was a ton of thought put in. I mean, it was the offense, and they had some young quarterbacks rolling through, so we just wanted to defend the offense last year. He's grown a lot. He's making good decisions with the football. You've seen him make some throws that he didn't make last year, and some mistakes he made last year he's not making this year. So I think he's grown as a player, and I think he's managing their offense pretty well.
I know you're already looking ahead, but what type of growth did you see from your group on Saturday?
Other than the drive in the third quarter, it was good to have your back against the wall a little bit and stand up tall and hold that thing off. Play 4 quarters of defense is always good. Keep them out of the end zone for a good part of the game is good. Getting a turnover when things matter. I mean, that's a huge play in the growth of a team and a defense to make a big play when it really matters, not just make one when you're up 43-8 or whatever. But there's a lot of growth within the unit and a lot of growth within the team.
Scott said that the beginning of the third quarter, coming out of the locker room, is sort of a concern, or has been this year. Is there anything in particular you can point to about your side of the ball and that sort of the problems that have been early first drive in the third quarter?
No, I think obviously the first and foremost, the guys aren't, for whatever reason, and we've got to address that. We've got to figure it out. For whatever reason, they're not firing all cylinders. They're not ready to go physically, and then mentally, we need to make sure that they understand that something is going to happen in that first drive. They are going to do something different. We don't always know what, but they're going to do something different, and that probably falls on me to get those guys ready for. We'll make some adjustments. Let's get this thing rolling, but I haven't exactly figured it out yet.
How did you like the way your defense adjusted to their quarterback run game on Saturday? The zone read a couple times in that fourth quarter. It seemed like your guys figured out what they were doing.
Yeah, I don't think they figured it out. I think everybody just did their job after the first drive. Their eyes were where they were supposed to be, and their leverage was where they were supposed to be. The first drive was it was poor eye control, eye violators everywhere, and there was poor leverage out there. So it wasn't that the guys figured it out. It was just making sure they were dialed in, focus on their assignments, focus on their eyes, focus on technique.
You had a couple younger defensive linemen step up with Khalil out. What do you think of DeAndre and Rogers? Yeah,
Deontay played a good game. He had 20-some snaps, and Casey Rogers played only a handful, 8-9 snaps, but he did a nice job. He only had one probably quote-unquote mental error I saw, and that was more of a thing that doesn't happen very often. It wasn't like a standard type play, so it was good tape to learn from everybody, but they went in and operated.
You guys practice against young offense all the time in your own. Minnesota has a pretty young offense. What maybe marks a young offense, and how do you guys defend knowing that your group?
Well, I don't really care if they're young or old. They're either good players or they're bad players, and it's a good scheme or it's not a good scheme. And I think we have a really good scheme and really good players, and I think Minnesota has a really good scheme and really good players. To me, it doesn't matter how old they are. I mean, the good thing for those guys in Minnesota is that the offensive line is going to be there for a long time. I mean, they played those kids young, they played the receivers young, they played the quarterback young, so they're going to be a good football team in this division for a while. But they're like us. They've taken a big step from last year to this year, and probably the year before they have 1 year up on us as far as a maturity standpoint. So I think they're doing a good job with that group, and it'll be a challenge for us.
Frost mentioned yesterday the 4-game redshirt rule. You guys discuss that almost every week. There's kind of a strategy that goes into it.
Yep.
Now that you're kind of in year 2 of that, how do you feel like that's gone? And are there moments when you're not sure what you're going to do? I think of Green last weekend, that kind of example of like how you're going to manage which games these guys can win.
Sure. There's indecision every week. I don't know if we'll ever know the right answer. on some of those things until you lose a game and somebody says you should have played that guy. I tell everybody, you guys will say we should have played that guy or we should have played that guy. You'll let us know, but for the most part, for us right now, it's the guys that we want to reserve those red shirts for. The biggest decisions right now are who's going to help us on special teams and or who's down. Cam Taylor's down. We need another safety to come up. And now that safety's got to be plugged in at some special team spots. If a linebacker's down, Luke Reimer or hopefully Nick Henrich sooner or later is going to be up. He's got to take linebacker reps, but he's got to get plugged into all those special teams reps. So that's kind of the juggling act that you're juggling right now. Who can fill in? Who can play special teams? If nobody's hurt, who's the best player on special teams for us for what we're doing that week? So I think that's kind of where we're at right now. And then also there's certain guys where you want to get them some game reps, so because they are going to be important. Jakeem Green's one of them. He's going to play in 4 games, and it's coming quickly. I need to pick the games where it's going to be the games that he fits best in what we're doing, because he's got to get ready to go for next year, and those game reps are important. You don't get better playing football without playing football.
Is there a player that would have, prior to this 4-game rule, that you would have burned the red shirt on that you don't have to burn the red shirt on, if that makes sense? You're going to
Say
play
that
4
again?
games instead of playing them the whole season.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of these guys right now, what you would have had to have done is you just had to say, Johnny Smith, we're going to play him all the games and he's going to play on every special team. Now you can say, well, Johnny's going to play these 4 on special teams and Bobby's going to play these 4 on special teams, so you can save multiple red shirts instead of burning one guys and saving the others, if that makes sense. Yeah, so that's the decisions that Coach DeWitt's making, Coach Frost is making. Okay, how many games do they have left? Who's up? Who's down? All those types of things. That answer your question? Yeah.
And Cam Taylor Britt keeps finding new ways to participate on special teams. What have you just seen from his growth? Almost 7 games going into the 7th game of the season.
I think it's kind of standard when you're a good player. Everybody wants to use you. So we want to use him a lot of spots on defense. Coach DeWitt wants to use him a lot of spots on special teams. But I think that's normally how it goes. All the good ones we've had, especially the DBs, when we were at UCF, Mike Hughes, first-round corner, he played on every special team. He played on every snap of defense. So when you're a really good player, unfortunately, you get played a lot.
But he seems to like that.
He likes it, so it's good.
You've had a couple other young corners, Braxton and Quentin, playing some, and Braxton was in that sort of sub last week. How do you think that he's played in that role, and also how does DiCaprio handle covering the slot? Because he did that.
Yeah, DiCaprio's, first and foremost, DiCaprio can go anywhere too. DiCaprio can go in the slot, he can go at safety. He knows the whole defense just as good as anybody else, and he's a really good player that can play a lot of spots. Braxton is growing up. He's doing a much better job. He's made some plays this season. He's going to continue to get reps in those sub packages. Good.